could be anywhere else, but you're here with me, and I appreciate you. This is NFL opening day week, the weekend. So, my 49ers, what I'm rocking the hat right now. I'm a 49ers fan. NFL, NBA is Knicks all day. If you know, you know. Carmelo, Ewan, Brunson, Clyde, Anthony Mason, Charles Smith, the legacy, you know what it is. It runs deep, it runs deep. But anyway, we're going to kick off this first episode of Katie's burner account. This is just a small offshoot of the Triangle, which is the big conglomerate. We're going to take over the sports podcasting world. I'm just happy to be here with y'all today. And let's kick this thing off, Rock with me. You're now rocking with the best. I'm Uncle Reggie, and this is Katie's burner account. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on the league's biggest secrets. An all-star game unlike anything you've ever seen. A looming investigation that could rock an entire franchise. And the shocking next chapter for a former number one pick. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we uncover. Right here, this is a story I feel got a lot less coverage than normal due to the Clippers and Kawhi scandal. The NBA All-Star game changed. You heard me. That's right. It changed. Yet again. The NBA is changing its All-Star game format yet again. We went from East versus West to captains to pick 'em to now Adam Silver's out here literally swagger jacking the NHL with the USA versus the world round robin tournament concept. I mean, it's evident something had to be done because last year's game was a joke. I mean, LeBron James' last minute pulling out was weak sauce, but it just highlights the lack of a lot of these players have for the event nowadays. Now, I'm not going to lie. I haven't given a damn about hockey in decades. But when the NHL rolled out that Four Nations Cup and USA was playing against Canada in the finals, your boy was one of the 100 and your boy was one of the 10.4 million Americans at the edge of my seat chanting, USA, USA, USA at the top of my lungs. My wife was probably looking at me in disbelief at how extra I was being. So trust me, I get the magic that Adam is trying to create here, and your boy's all for it. I'm interested in how it will shape out because they're talking about 12-minute quarters over the course of a few days. I'm wondering if it will span over the past 3 days, typical for an All-Star weekend, or do we convert to an All-Star week format, which I think would be dope. You give the players a chance to rest who aren't participating, but in turn, those who are participating get a chance to spread it out. And, you could throw in the All-Star game activities like the three-point contest, the rookie game, and unfortunately the dunk contest on the days off. But have no fear, Adam Silver. Your boy has devised a plan to revive the dunk contest and bring out the top-level talent that used to take part in the event. We'll up the grand prize, and by us, I mean you, from $100,000 to $1 million for the grand prize. A 4-player, winner takes all, $1 million dunk off. Silver and the boys got the bread. Make it happen. But I'm all in on this new All-Star game format. Got my American flag on the way, courtesy of Amazon Prime. Hit me up in the comments and let me know if you're ready to rep your country come All-Star break. But speaking of things that might not be as they seem, let's dive into our first ever segment, Fact or Cap. I'll hit you with a rumor, and you have to decide whether it's fact, something we could bank on, or cap, just a whole lot of nonsense. All right, let's get it. First topic is the Kawhi Leonard story. Now, rumor has it is that Kawhi Leonard received a secret $1 million no-show job to circumvent the salary cap back in 2019 when he went from the Raptors over to the Clippers. Now, Pablo Torre, y'all might remember from ESPN. I think he was on like Partner Interruption and stuff. Now he's the host and executive producer of the show called Pablo Torre Finds Out. It's on YouTube, but old boy was on his Woodward and Bernstein bag. Kids, use your AIs. They were an investigative journalist team who broke that Watergate scandal, I think, back in like the 70s, which led to the impeachment of the former President Richard Nixon. Now back to Pablo and his podcast. I suggest y'all give it a listen. For better context, it's like an hour and a half. I know nowadays with y'all TikTok kids, hour and a half is a lot of time. But anyway, back to Pablo. He said Kawhi was receiving $28 million over the course of a 4-year endorsement deal with the now bankrupt and under federal investigation company Aspiration. Now, if you remember them back in like the COVID time, Robert Downey Jr., Leonardo DiCaprio was like, they were like promoting this company. But anyway, the streets are saying that the Clippers owner Steve Ballmer invested $50 million in the company, which now seems more like a back channel to circumvent the salary cap. Pablo even brought in a former employee with a distorted voice doing some high-level snitching, y'all. I couldn't believe it. Had me clutching my damn pearls, all the damn tea she was spilling. What grinded my gears as a Knicks fan, though, was Pablo trying to tease this possible Jalen Brunson and Knicks investigation. Pablo, relax, big dog. The Knicks are a class act organization, and James Dolan is the gold standard of NBA governors. But anyway, what do you think? Let me know in the comments section. I think the NBA will investigate this thing away. Adam Silver and this got his eyes set on an expansion league. I don't see this type of scandal that could I don't see this type of scandal that could open up Pandora's box. My final verdict, this is probably fact, but the NBA is going to make sure that's cap if you get what I'm putting down. On to the next story. I don't know if you like me, but my mom used to have a saying, and I'm sure many of you also heard, when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them. Which leads us to this guy. Rumor number 2, fact and no fact, the Ben Simmons experience. Listen, y'all, Ben Simmons is contemplating retiring. Stephen Bondi of the New York Post is reporting that Ben Simmons is contemplating retirement due to lack of interest teams have in him in this free agency period. I believe it's only like the Knicks and the Kings. Then you throw in the fact that he feels he's an above veterans minimum type of player, and it's a delusional recipe for disaster, bro. I mean, this dude hasn't been a productive NBA player in nearly half a decade. He took 2 years off due to his feelings being hurt that Philadelphia fans demanded more from him than just, lackadaisical effort in these high-pressure situations. And in my opinion, conveniently created a bogus back injury to force his way out of Philly, right into the hands of a thirsty-ass Brooklyn Nets team who was dealing with their own shit show. With the failed Durant, Irving, and Harden big three, Brooklyn was ready to offload Harden, and Philly was ready to part ways with the cowardly lion Ben Simmons. Y'all know what Ben wasted Brooklyn's time for nearly 3 years, collecting over $125 million for doing absolutely nothing. And y'all want to talk about Kawhi possibly collecting $28 million under the table? The NBA needs to investigate Ben Simmons for stealing money and wasting people's time. I haven't seen someone this full of crap since my ex, y'all. In closing, on behalf of the Philadelphia and a couple of hundred Nets fans, good riddance. Plus him retiring could possibly save my Knicks from themselves. Stephen Bondi also reported they had interest in Ben Simmons getting their final roster spot. That's all us Knicks fans needed was Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and Ben Simmons' non-floor spacing lineup, slowing down the offense. I hope this is facts personally. I'm done with the Ben Simmons experience. Jump in the comments and let me know. Am I being too hard on Ben? Or did I only scratch the surface of the worst number 1 pick since Anthony Bennett? Let your voices be heard below. All right, y'all, that's a wrap on our first ever episode. Whether you believe the NBA could fix the All-Star game or if Ben Simmons is really walking away, it's clear. It's never a dull moment around this league. Thanks for tuning in to KD's burner account. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next mini episode where we'll discuss the dry-ass free agency market, and we'll put your comments from the internet and shift through the facts and the cat. For more in-depth breakdowns, be on the lookout for our flagship show, The Triangle Podcast. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.